Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about astral projection. Now there are a lot of books out there on astral projection, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link some of those books down below. Now there are many different techniques on how to astral project, and in this video I'm just going to focus on what I do when I astral project. So this is not the standard way or standard technique to use when you astral project. This is just something that I do that I found very useful. Usually if I get too much sleep during the day and I try to go to sleep at night, I'll end up in a state where I'm half asleep and I'm half awake. And when you're in that state, at least for me, when I'm in that state, you feel like there's like 1,000 little pinpricks that's sticking you in your skin. And you're not able to move when you're in that state. Now, scientists, they call that sleep paralysis, which it probably is. Now, sleep paralysis basically is when you're in a state where you can't move your physical body. And I guess this happens when you sleep, so you won't get up and start walking around and start acting out your dreams. Now, with me, when I get into a state where sleep paralysis takes over, what I try to do is I'll still try to move part of my body. And usually I try to move my left or my right hand. And what happens is my physical hand won't move, but the astral hand will actually move. So when I'm in that state, I know that I'm in a state where I'm just about to move outside my body. And it's a pretty, how can I describe it? Interesting state to be in. Another thing that I try to do is if I'm laying down right next to a wall, I'll take my hand and I'll see if I can place it through the wall. And I know that if I can place my hand through the wall, then at least part of my body, my hand, is actually astral projecting. Because when I look at my hand with my physical eye, which I can usually get my physical eye open just a little bit. When I look at my physical hand isn't moving, but I can feel my astral hand going through the wall. Now when I'm in that state, what I usually do is I'll try my best to stay conscious and try to visually go outside of my body. Now one of the things that I've done is trying to imagine space, because usually if I'm in that state, I'm surrounded by darkness. The light's off in my room, and it's usually nighttime, so there's a lot of darkness that's around. So what I do is I try to imagine that and try to imagine myself like floating in space or something like that. And that's helped. Usually I'm able to astral project out my body when I do that. Or what you can try to do is actually just get up. And that sometimes works for me. Usually when that works for me is when I'm astral projecting and I don't know that I'm doing it, there's been a couple of times where I actually astral projected outside my body, and I'm thinking I'm waking up from a dream, and I'm walking around my room, and I noticed that if I try to pick something up, my hand will actually go through the object. So I'm not in my physical body at that point. So but that usually happens by accident. But as I said before, what you can usually do is just concentrate on your environment, concentrate on the darkness, or concentrate on something familiar. Say if you're if there's an object in your house that you're really familiar with, concentrate on that object, or concentrate on holding that object, and you'll be surprised that somehow your body will astral project to like a different location in your house, and you'll actually be maybe not holding that object, but you will be in the presence of that object. Another thing that I actually tried, and I didn't even know that I could do this, I actually didn't know this was possible, is when I get into that state, I'll concentrate on leaving my body through the window. And that actually happened to me once. I actually astral projected out of my window. And I remember maybe like 5 or 10 minutes of that, and then all of a sudden I just lost consciousness or whatever. But it sounds fantastical. It sounds like something that people are not able, something that people are not able to do. But actually, there are people who are able to do this, and there's a lot of books out there of people who have actually mastered this. So I'm in the process of really trying to get control of this, and I can tell you it's really an experience that you will never forget when you're able to get control of this. So anyway, that is my take on this, and this is how I do it, and it's worked for me. So try it yourself, and maybe you'll have some luck at astral projecting. And what you could do is, if you have any luck at this, and if you find yourself getting good at this or whatever, shoot me an email, shoot me a message here on Facebook. I'll be glad to compare notes on this subject. Alright, until next time, love is the law, and as usual, peace.